What's up, guys? I'm Dr. Donald Mole. I'm one of the co-founders at Kinetic Impact, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about power in the golf swing. And the chicks dig the long ball, right? So everybody wants to hit the ball further. Everyone on tour is doing it. Clubhead speeds are faster than ever. And really, I believe because we're starting to understand performance to the next level in regards to both on the course, but also in the gym setting, and understanding how to get the most out of the human body as physically possible. I wanted to talk to you guys about the most important components that we see people need to work on to make sure that they can ensure as much power as humanly possible and as much club head as humanly possible in the golf swing. First and foremost is going to be sequencing, meaning the ability to move your hips and disassociate your hips and your upper body, right? So this is often called sequencing in the swing. Your ability to move your hips independently from your torso and your torso independently from your hips, like in your back swing first, and then especially in your downswing. This is something that we see with all rotational athletes, whether it's kicking, it's throwing, right? See Dak Prescott's drill to work on hip disassociation. Pitchers are one of the best in the world at this, right? Learning from them, we can see the importance of sequencing, and the sequence is actually the same in both throwing and the swing, right? So I think sequencing is a very important thing. The most important is probably on course, right? So you need to have a good coach teaching you how to get the proper sequencing so you can get the most out of the swing as you can. In the gym, there's very simple drills to do to practice this. You can have like a stick or the club, and you can start just working on the ability to turn the torso and hips independent from each other. This just gives a really good visual feedback that you're not moving it, or you're just moving this. And you could use a med ball against the wall, a drill that I really like, and you can start flipping the hips fairly quick, both with stationary feet or movement feet. We can get into drills in another video as well. Last one I really like is just being able to throw, right? So do the throwing motion with an open hand is a good way to start, because there's no weight in the hand, so it's easier on the shoulder. But actually throwing an object gives you the feedback that you're getting the sequencing right. So, but again, we can go over those drills in another video. But I think that's number one, just being able to hit the sequencing, right? And that's a skill, right? And as you develop the skill and you can torque the body, your body's going to need to withstand quite a bit of forces, right? Like tour players are getting high 120s on some of their swings, right? So in regards to club head speed, so that's a crap ton of force, and your body has to withstand those forces, right? Golf is a power sport. You're swinging the club incredibly fast. And how we do that is how the body is able to withstand those forces. We do it in a couple different ways. We need to make sure that we're able to get in the positions needed, right? So the next thing after sequencing is ranges of motion, mobility, flexibility, whatever we want to label it as. I look at it as, can you get in the positions necessary for the sport, right? Is your thoracic spine able to turn, right? Able to rotate and extend, right? And are your hips able to rotate and extend, right? Again, we can do a different video where we really focus on assessing yourself and showing some drills that you could do where you can see, can you get into these positions? Can my thoracic spine rotate? And can my hips rotate? And can they extend? These two areas are areas that we often see locked the most. So these are our go-to areas, but your neck also has to turn, right? because you have to track the ball. Right here is right rotation for a left-handed player on the downswing, right? Or on the backswing, excuse me. On the downswing, it's left rotation, right? So in order to track the ball, our neck needs to be able to rotate, right? And in order for us to get hip disassociation, now our low back and pelvis, lumbo-pelvis area needs to be able to rotate and whip as well, right? So oftentimes people get back pain, sometimes they even get neck pain on the course. And if your thoracic spine isn't able to move as well, you're going to dump into the low back. Same thing with the hips. Being able to hit the positions is massively important. If you're not able to hit the positions, you're not able to use the sequencing as well as you'd like to, right? And sometimes this is where we come into play, and we get people more flexible, more mobile, so the coaches can do their job and get the most out of the sequencing, right? And then it comes to being able to produce speed, right? And the ability to produce speed is can be defined as power, right? And we need to be able to withstand the forces that are put on us during the swing. And it's really important to make sure our tissues are trained to do so. And there's two ways that we do this in the gym. Two ways to develop power in the gym. We either move heavy objects as hard as we can, right? Or we move our body weight or something light really, really fast, right? Because force equals mass times acceleration. We either have a lot of mass or a lot of acceleration, right? And those are on both ends of the spectrum, and we need to be really good at those. The way we can move mass is do stuff steal from the strongest people in the world. Squat, deadlift, things that don't look very fancy or look like the swing at all, right? The reason why we do those things is because in order to lift as heavy as humanly possible, it can't look fancy. It can't look like the swing. So it needs to look like a squat or a deadlift where 2 feet are on the ground and we can produce as much force as possible. Because in this swing, if you're on force plates, you're actually pushing on the ground a crap ton, right? So what better way to train that than to lift heavy with 2 feet on the ground and take away all the fancy BS, balancing on bands and using bands and balancing on Bosu balls, and actually lift heavy, right? This is why we see the pro tour golfers lifting heavy. We have to earn our way there, right? But lifting heavy. And then another way to do it is moving fast. So box jumps, jumping down from box, being able to produce lots of force into the ground extremely fast, because the golf swing happens very quickly. We need our body to be able to withstand the fast contractions and be able to contract fast, right? That's extremely important. And though it may not look like the golf swing, that's why it's important, because it's a general quality that will have carryover to the sport, which then will allow your coach to get the most out of your swing. And then last but not least is repeatability. It doesn't matter if you can swing for the fences on hole 1, on day 1 of the tournament, but you can't do it on hole 18 or day 3 of the tournament, right? So repeatability comes down to your cardiovascular health first and foremost. The average golf course is like 5 to 6 miles long. So if you're walking that thing, you have to have the ability to repeat it throughout the course and to recover between each power episode, right? Each swing is a power rep, right, with intention. So you need to be able to repeat that to multiple days, and from the general physical preparation side, that looks like the ability to do so in the gym, meaning you start with exposing yourself to a little bit of high intensity stuff, and over time you progressively get more and more reps, right? Because you're probably going to swing that thing at least 50 times per per round, right? So can we get that and create maybe even a functional buffer where you're hitting maybe 60 to 80 high velocity or high heavy reps within a session, so your body's prepared for it, and you get onto the course and you're like, this is easy, this is a piece of cake. This is your fitness level, right? So your ability to repeat it over and over and over again. And then it also comes down to efficiency in the swing, right? Working with your coach to be as efficient as possible so there's no energy leaks, so then you can repeat it on day 3, day 4, right? So those are the 4 components that we find extremely important. Again, it's sequencing, the ability to disassociate and create the whip that you need in the swing, and the skill it takes to do so, right? So really getting really good at that in the course, right? And maybe training a little bit of that in the gym. Then the second is range of motion, flexibility, mobility, the ability to get into the positions necessary for the swing. Is your mid, back, and hips allowing you to get there? Third is creating power, right? Lifting heavy and moving fast, training like a freaking sprinter even, right? Being very twitchy, get twitchy. Right? And then the last one, the 4th one, is repeatability. Can you do what you're doing on hole 1 on hole 18 on the last day of the tournament? That's what it comes down to. That's where the money's made, right? So these things are very trainable, and this is why people are hitting the ball longer on tour, because they're training these things. So it's very trainable. Stay tuned for future videos where I kind of break down some drills you can do on each of these components, but this is what it takes to hit the ball long. And my question to you is, are you willing to put in the work and dedicate the time that it takes to actually have massive changes on the course, right? Massive changes in your body's ability to do so equates to dozens of yards off the tee, right? So, and it takes some sacrifice. It takes multiple times a week in sessions to train your body and allow your body the time it takes to adapt. So if you found this successful, please like, share, and stay tuned for the follow-ups where we'll kind of break down some drills you can do to work on these things. I look forward to seeing the comments, and give us some feedback. Anything you want to learn about in regards to getting better at golf, in regards to your physical ability, not the skill development, but your physical ability, and getting your body as primed as possible to be as good as possible. Shoot us a comment, and look forward to hearing from you.